Okay, let's take a look at your swim at Rollins. It's about a 5-minute video here that we're going to be going through, so watch it a couple times and then go back and make some notes. Now this is during your warm-up, and we talked about the fact that you don't lead with a bent elbow, and I wanted you to see from the deck standpoint how you can see the arms do what we consider a windmill. And what I mean by that is as soon as your hand enters the water, you're pulling straight back. Particularly on your right side, you breathe on the right side, and when you do, you have a nice big straight arm. And we need that elbow to be bent as if you're taking your hand out of your back pocket, as we discussed at the pool. Now, as you get a little bit closer to the camera here, I want you to notice your hand under the water. As soon as it enters the water, it immediately pulls. And remember what we talked about, we need to have a little bit of a glide component so that we can let the law of hydrodynamics work for us instead of against us. Now this is when you started to do your 50s fast. And what I want you to pay attention to is look at the amount of splashing, look at the amount of bubbles. We consider that what we call water turbulence, water noise. And when we slow it down towards the end of the video here, you're going to see the correlation between your right hand and your left foot and your left hand and your right foot. So when we go into the 100 yards, after some drill work, I want you to notice how there's immediately less splashing. The feet are not breaking the surface. We're still not getting the elbow bend the way we want, but it's 100% better already. You're getting a much cleaner entry, which leads to less bubbles. Less bubbles means more leverage. And the thing that I want you to pay attention to, as the annotation denotes there, is I timed you going from wall to wall. As we discussed at the pool, I like to extract the time it takes for you to touch the wall, turn around, and push off again. And I purposely have posted here, you got down the first 25 in 20 seconds. And as you approach the wall here, you're back in 22 seconds for a total of 44 at the 50-yard mark. Now as you start to, obviously fatigue is going to start settling in here. You'll start to see the legs will flare a little bit more. That's typical. All right, and that's because we're relying more on the kick for propulsion instead of more of a balancing tool. Remember what we said, your right hand and your left foot work together, your left hand and your right foot work together. That's what creates that coiling in your core that allows you to wind up and snap to that next stroke. Now this is your last 25. If you go back and you look at the annotation here, your third length was another 22-second swim. And what I think is impressive is your total elapsed time by the time we get to the end of this 100 is exactly is a minute and 32 seconds for 100. And I want you to go back and watch the video again, and you can validate the time. Total 100-yard swimming is a minute 32. Now here's where I ask you to swim a fast 25, and I ask you to just try to be as smooth, and you heard me say the word to you, just relax. Try to be a little less turbulent in the water, a little less flashing around, and you're going to see in this next part where we slow everything down, you held yourself down to 26 strokes when you were going nice and easy, and quote unquote as you swam easy, you swam a 144. Now this next and last video segment is everything being slowed down. There's a couple things I want you to look at. You're going to be taking a breath here on your right side, and when you do that, notice that your hand exits on the left side of your body. So you're breathing every third stroke. You're not going to take a breath here. So here comes your left arm. Now watch, you're going to rotate on your left side. Look where your right hand exits the water, all the way on the left side of your body. This could be contributing to a lot of going off course in an open water setting. Remember, once your thumb touches your thigh, you need to be raising your elbow out. It's what we call a high elbow drill. But it's amazing to watch this in slow motion where you can see you're slapping your arm in. There's no pause, so there's no glide. You immediately pull, and then you pull all the way beyond your hip and across your behind so that your right arm comes out on the left side of your body. So like we talked about, to clean all this up, let's work on catch-up drill, let's work on finger drill, let's work on good rotation. You're going to see if you keep your feet under the water and you keep your arms in line and not splashing, you'll be more efficient and you'll be faster immediately.